In normal operations, there's two air crewmen in the back of the aircraft, the number one and the number two air crewman. The number one air crewman is predominantly up the front of the aircraft. So the number one air crewman will be operating the TSU, which operates stuff like your performance, and you can, when you have troops on board, you put them in, so that updates the weight of the aircraft, so you can have accurate performance when you're moving.
So the pilots are there, and you're kind of like the extra eyes.
Yeah, the extra eyes, exactly. So I'll be here with a map in between the two seats. So extra eyes looking out of the front, and then aiding with the navigation as we're going through. And then if we're going to a landing area, which might be a bit tight, for example, the number one air crewman will open the door, and then he'll stand in the position here, looking out, making sure, checking that the tips of the blades and the tail's clear, and then giving the pilots an accurate voice marshal into going down, judging the height and the distance of where they need to go. The number two air crewman down the back of the aircraft, predominantly, is his main roles is going to be checking the tail, making sure that the tail's clear when you're landing. Yeah. In just a normal transit, the number two air crewman will be monitoring fuel and low-level radios.
And that's what those windows are for at the back?
Yeah, the bubble windows at the back. So the bubble windows at the back for the number two air crewman is just so he can put his head right out of the window. And he can check and have a good view on the left and the right, depending which side the number one air crewman's on. And then the other job that the main number two air crewman is the load hatch.
So that's down here?
Yeah, that's down there. So this is the load bay. So to get in here, the number one air crewman, traditionally he'll get you in the general vicinity of the load, and then the number two air crewman will be in this position here. Will sight the load underneath the aircraft and do the fine tuning to get the aircraft over the top. And then once the aircraft is in position over the top of the load, we'll bring the aircraft down, we'll hook the load on. I'll check that the load is all true, plumbed properly and connected well, and then the number one air crewman will raise the aircraft up whilst I'm in this position, just making sure that everything's good with the load. And then once we lift out of there and transition away, whilst we're transitioning, I'll be here making sure that the load is safe. I'll just be in this area here, checking that the load's flying well, and checking that it's within limits as well.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.